And I kind of go, man, you don't have to pick what's true or what's not true. Like, I don't think of Scientology in terms of, does it work? Does it not work? Is it true? Is it not true? Uh, I don't think of Scientology in those terms. There's no part of Scientology that I still use or apply in terms of things that actually require you to do something, meaning contact assists, nerve assists, locationals, what have you. And people go, oh, is there any parts of Scientology you still believe? And that's funny because I go, I never thought of Scientology as something you were supposed to believe. So like, if you go, the ARC Triangle, okay, is that a useful way of thinking about how to approach people or resolve conflicts? Yeah, that's a useful way of thinking about things, in my opinion. I'm never going to sit someone.
Also, however, not in fact true and easy to disprove. So sometimes,
well, depending on what that even
for you, but the reality is that if you increase communication, you don't necessarily increase affinity. The example that Hubbard himself gives is that bullets are communication. And if somebody likes you more after you've shot them, there's something wrong. So it's a heuristic, but it's a faulty heuristic. But
well, sure. And that's also based on or somewhat relies on the fact of, do you have to think of this thing in some sort of a scientific, it always works if you apply it 100% of the time? I never thought of Scientology in that way. Like you just said, that like the examples you can think of ways in which ARC doesn't work out the way Hubbard said, and you can think of ways in which it's probably a useful way to approach people. And even though I'm using that as an example, if someone asked me for advice on how to deal with A, B, and C or whatever, never in a million years would I ever sit them down, sketch out the ARC triangle, or even mention ARC, or even use those terms or anything. So is it something that sticks in my, but I do feel that if I'm having to come up with a way or advise a person on how to approach a thing, in the back of my head somewhere is kicking around the ARC triangle, but I'm not going to use those words. I don't care enough about it to make it a thing. But if someone asks me, if someone's in Scientology and like, oh, what's true, what's not true? That's where I kind of go, I don't think in terms of true or not true. I just think in terms of, did that kind of make sense to me? And was it useful if I think in those terms? Like, just the ARC triangle just is an example of something that I think is useful when used. It's useful if you want to think in those terms. And I might even still think in those terms, but you'll never hear me say those words because I don't care enough about those words or about the ARC triangle as a thing. I mean, do you understand what I'm saying, right?
I hope so, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.